Wait a minute, this is upside down. There we go. That's the way I need it to be. Hello, welcome back to the channel. I thought it would be fun to do something a little bit different today. I'm planning to open up commissions sometime soon, and I thought it would be a good idea to just do a little sketchbook spread, or multiple sketchbook spreads, of just drawing different types of characters with different types of faces. Because that's a really important part of doing commission work, is that you need to be able to draw characters in your own style who have several different types of faces and facial variety. So I think I'm just going to start with drawing my own original characters. There's one of them right here who I just recently redesigned, and then shoot off from there and draw even more characters. So I have a new spread here, and I'm going to just start with my wandering trader, so I feel like I have the most confidence in drawing her. I don't want to make these too big just because I want to save space for quite a few characters. I'll probably draw a few anime characters in here as well, just because they're characters that, again, I know how to draw. Don't know if I want to play with any angles. Start with just her small nose, tiny bit of shading, very narrow bridge, and she has a little bit bigger eyes. Sketched them too low. Also haven't sketched a character in a few days, so this is going to be a little bit of a warm-up for me. I'll have her eyes looking up just a little bit, and she has pretty narrow eyebrows. Give her her little face tattoos. She has a little bit of a smaller mouth as well. Then again, so do most of my characters in general. This is starting out pretty good for having not drawn her in a while. And she has softer, a little bit softer features. See, the reason why I'm starting out with her is because she has the face type that I feel most comfortable drawing and what comes to me most naturally. So once I get into the other characters, it's definitely going to be pretty interesting to see where it goes. I need to add her mushroom hat, a little swoop. Here's the rest of the shroom, and get the top of the hat. Can't forget the gills of the shroom as well. Those are going to be very sketchy. I don't know why I'm saving her hair for last. Usually I don't. Here we go. Let's get her hair. She has these little pieces in the front. Come down like this. Just little swoops. And then it comes around here. Gets pulled back because it's all looping around into the side braid, and then comes around. I'm not drawing her whole bust, so she's just gonna stop there. And then she has a turtleneck, where she has her poncho on top, and then her hair is darker back here, and it gets lighter as it gets further down. Okay, that's a pretty solid first sketch. This is looking pretty good. Well, now that I'm looking at it, I don't think I drew her eyes quite wide enough. Usually she has her eyes a little bit wider open, but she is a lot more of a relaxed character. She tries to appear a lot more calm, a lot more stoic. Okay, I'm satisfied with that. Let's try Kai next. We'll shift gears and we'll draw a guy. I feel like Kai is a character who I'm the second most comfortable drawing out of my mushroom character cast, and he has a lot sharper of a face. So this is going to be fun to do. He also has a small nose, but it's a little bit squarer. And his eyes are narrower and a little higher up. And Kai has a little bit bigger of a mouth because he is always doing a little bit of a smirk. He's a very smiley guy. And he has a lot thicker eyebrows. Give him a little smirk. I haven't drawn a smirk in a while. I don't know how I feel about that. Sharper facial features. I feel like that's not right. He must have jawline or else it doesn't work. And then he has hair that comes down in the front like this. Why am I drawing the hair before I did the hat? I do the hat first. What am I doing?
A few moments ago.
I don't know why I'm saving her hair for last. Usually I don't. And his hat is a lot more scraggly. It has these little strandly bits. I think it's that wide though. I fell into a period where whenever I was drawing Kai, I would make his hat way too big. His mushroom cap would be just a little bit too large, and I've been trying to fix that. Of course, I'll know better once I see his actual hair, because he has fluffier hair. His hair, he has a little side bit there, same with this side, and then the hat comes down. How am I drawing characters this fast? I've never drawn him that quickly before. That has to be fastest Kai drawing I've literally ever done. Time really flies when you're drawing, especially when you're drawing something you like. Now, let's see, who do I want to do next? Probably Spica. Don't know if I can fit her here though, because she also has a very sharp face, and she has horns as well. I don't know, maybe I'll be able to fit somebody there. I could try to do a Kaji there. I haven't drawn a Kaji in a while. Let's try to jump a little bit away from the characters who I'm comfortable with, and let's try somebody else. I haven't drawn a Kaji in a hot second. I think when did I last try to draw him? Where is he? I know I tried to draw him somewhere here. There he is. there's a Kaji. It's been a second. It's definitely been a second. I'm thinking about removing his ponytail because he originally had a ponytail design. And I don't know, it's been there for a while and I just don't know how I feel about it. Might keep it, maybe I'll just make it a shorter ponytail. He had a really long ponytail at first and I don't know, maybe I'll make it short. Maybe that'll help fix the problem that I've been having with this design. Just feel like it's a little too long. I don't know why I'm trying to draw him from this angle, but here we go. And he has a little bit of a rounder face as well, but he has narrower eyes. And he also has a little bit of a smirk. Kaji usually has a real mischievous look to him. I'm not sure. I'm not feeling great about it. I'm really not feeling great about it. No, what is going on with this face? I hate it. Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like it. Let's stick with let's stick with just standard facing you profile for now. Blank slate. Let's start clean. Okay, I feel like this is looking slightly better. I might have to move the nose down just a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. It's looking weird again. Something about that nose, man. Maybe I don't like it because he's cat facing right now, because that is legitimately what he was just doing. I know how I drew him in the past. Why can't I draw him now? Let me flip back to that sketch. Ah, I see I have the wrong nose shape. That explains it. I did want to scrunch up his face a little bit though, so that makes me happier. Fixing the nose, I'm happier with it now. That instantly makes it a little bit better. I know I wanted his face. I know I wanted his face to be a little bit more squished. I also wanted to give him bigger ears, just because I like that about him. I mean, he's a little bit of a trickster, so I like his appearance to be a little bit more tricksy looking. Don't mind me cross-referencing. There we go, we're getting somewhere. I don't hate him anymore. I like it. He's starting to really develop that trickster look that I really like about him. Because I feel like before, he had a little bit too much pretty boy in him. I mean, granted, when I did originally design him, I was definitely thinking pretty boy, but I'm trying to lean more into that trickster side that he has. I think I will keep the ponytail though. I just need to remember that he has this collar here that looks like this, and his hair does a little floof. I feel like I have same hair syndrome when it comes to my guys, because he and Kai have very similar hair. I think the reason why I was trying to get rid of the ponytail is because it didn't make sense with his hair, but just pull back this section a little. I'm just trying to make it look like it's intentionally pulled back. And I could pull it into a little ponytail shape right here. Also, a lot of people tend to not know what gender a Kaji is just because of the ponytail. So I don't know. Keep it. I genuinely don't know. I'll just keep small ponytail for now. This needs more floof. It also doesn't help that you can't see his little floofies at the top. Let's see, now I have Nami, Mira, and Spica, and I think I'm gonna do maybe Spica next. Or Mira. I don't draw Mira all that often, so maybe I'll do Mira. Yeah, let's do Mira. So Mira is my magical character, and in my world, magic works very, very differently than most fantasy worlds. Their magic is more of like harnessing the natural energy of the world around them sort of thing, and other things that would qualify as magic are more like inborn traits based off of like the different mushrooms that the species like evolved with when they became like humanoid figures. For the wandering trainer, it's very important that she doesn't bleed because, like most toxic mushrooms, and her being based off of Amanita muscaria, they actually are toxic. Those mushrooms are toxic. So in my world, I decided that all of these humanoid people who are based off of poisonous mushrooms have that poison inside of their blood. So if they bleed, and if anyone touches the blood, they then become sick. And it's even possible that they could die. So it's been really fun to play around with like just thinking about different ideas of like how different characters and different mushrooms can be used, and like how there's sort of like this growing demand in the black market in their world for different types of like biological weaponry, if that's a good way to put it. Biological weaponry that's made from like the blood of poisonous mushroom people, or toxins being made and stuff like that. For Mira, she is a look-alike mushroom to the shelf mushroom that's actually poisonous. There's a bunch of mushrooms that also contain narcotics and other types of like drugs and hallucinogenics. So my idea for that with characters like Mira is that because they're hallucinogenic, they have the ability to put people into like trances. They can make you paralyzed or put you under hypnosis or do all sorts of other spooky things. And some other people see that as a way to profit. This one I'm not going to be as judgmental about just because I don't have her defined finished image in my head yet. It's one of my earliest characters, yet I've never truly made the design that I feel like is best for her. Maybe I'll make her eyebrows be separated like that. And she has 3 little dots. She'll have a little bit more of a defined chin, more so than the trader, but still like soft, still some features that are soft and reminiscent of that look. I'd like to make her as beautiful as I can because I do consider her to be my prettiest character. One of the things is that she does a lot of like spiritual dances because of her powers and abilities. She often works as a dancer and musician, often playing music and dancing at the same time as a way to earn money. So she tries to not use her magical abilities all that often just because she knows that it often gets a pretty negative reception. She's not a guy. Why did I draw that part of a neck? Just because I've drawn 2 guys in a row. Neck and curls around the back. I think the last time I drew her, I gave her ponytails, but I'm not sure I'm a fan of this either. It's so hard to figure out hair when the majority of the head is underneath the hood. I don't know what I want. You know what? Maybe I'll just go find that drawing I made of her, because I don't know. Okay, there was my last drawings of Spica and Kaji. That was from October, and then this was my last drawing of Mira. Honestly, looking back at it, I like that. So let's stick with that. I think I'm gonna keep the eyebrows this way just because I really like it. And this part that comes over her face would definitely be pierced somehow. I don't know what they would use to make the hooks for earrings because they don't have a lot of metal in their world, but I guess that's something that world building me has to figure out. Around here, this is where she would have her dress. I think it would kind of just hang down. Okay, I feel better about it now. And you know what? I feel pretty solid about that. It may not be exactly perfect, but I think we're starting to get somewhere. I think adding the eyebrows really helped a lot. Let me just signify the hair. Now I need to do Spica, who as you can tell is my extremely sharp-faced character. Extreme of the extreme. And her features are very sharp because she is based off of a mushroom that has spikes on it. There are real mushrooms that have real spikes on them. And that mushroom I believe is called Enotype hystrix. It's been a while since I looked it up, but that is the mushroom that she's based off of, and she is a little warrior because of that. And those mushrooms are also really, really tiny. So compared to all these other characters, Spica is absolutely minuscule. She is tiny. Probably the tiniest nose out of the entire cast of characters. She is the little firecracker of the team. She has the most attitude, the most sass. I know I reference her a lot, but she's a lot like Little Mai. Even though I designed her before I ever ran into the Moomins, she's a lot like Little Mai.
How can I hit her with my rolling pin from there? I'll go for toes, alright?
Basically everything about Spica is intended to be very, very sharp. Even her eyes are like slightly narrow. She definitely has Vidya going on for her. I sense a lot of Vidya influencing Spica's design, and I love Vidya. Vidya is my favorite of the original Tinkerbell fairies, so I'm not surprised that Vidya has leaked into this character's design. I feel pretty confident drawing Spica as well. She's probably the one who would draw third most. Make her angry, and she has pointy ears as well. Realistic size, because the spikes on the mushrooms themselves aren't that tall, and she has spikes in her hair on top of her head. So don't want it to interfere too much with her ponytail, because she has a ponytail as well. Now we add the spikes that are all throughout her hair. The one thing that is large about her is her ponytail. It's been a while since I've drawn all of them together. This makes me really, really happy. A lot of my like mushroom characters have like this regular white person skin tone, and that's just because it's really, really hard to shade pure white skin or palish yellow skin. There are a couple times where I make exceptions, like Kai is extremely pale. Okay, there's Spica. Now it's time to do my girl Nami, who I just recently redesigned. The reason I decided to redesign her was because I felt like she just didn't have that defined of a silhouette in comparison to the other characters, and her face was also very similar to Mira's, and I thought she needs to have a little bit more of a better facial structure, something that's more easily recognizable, something a little more unique. So I changed her into this. I changed her in her hair. Her outfit is basically exactly the same same. Just changed her body type a little bit. She's a lot thicker now. She's still really tall. She has a bigger nose, more rounded face. I changed her hair. Very excited about her design. So let's make her be the last of my characters that we're going to be drawing. Then I'll try to draw some other people. She has a very rounded nose. In her redesign, I was thinking about making her like a more comforting character to be around and more like comfortable to look at, because like her thing is that she is obviously a girl that's based off of plants. She's from a completely different part of the world than they are. Basically, their entire part of the world is entirely dominated by mushrooms. She comes from these extremely faraway islands where there's still a lot of plant life, and most of the people over there are based off of different types of plants. Since there's so much stuff going around with characters being tied to poison and stuff like that, since there's such a widespread market and availability for poisons and toxins, there's often a need for healers and medics, and so she often serves as a healer in their area. While she primarily serves as a seafarer who works in negotiations, she is medically trained and she knows how to make a lot of different types of herbal recipes. And what I mean by medically trained is that she knows a lot of herbal stuff. She's very much an herbal medicine doctor, more like natural stuff. They don't have anything like modern medicine in this world. They never reached that point in technology. She has circular eyebrows. This is something I've really embraced in my work, is making characters have different types of eyebrows that really match their personalities, and I think it's really fun. Oh no, it's time to draw her chin. And now to draw the chin. The chin is the most difficult part of these character designs for me. It's the same with all these characters. I'm really comfortable with doing everything except for the chin. I feel like with Nami specifically, making her have rounder features is critical to her being a more comforting character just in aesthetic and to look at. I'm still new to her design, so I haven't quite memorized exactly how I draw her leaf bangs just yet, but they are very fluffy, which feels weird to say about a leaf, but it's the truth. But something about it is giving Tinkerbell, and honestly I'm not seeing that as a bad thing at this moment. But I even gave her hair a more rounded aesthetic, so she now has this very nice comforting round shape to her. And now I just shade this area in. But overall, you can see a wide variety of faces in my characters. I'm glad that I'm gradually starting to get better and better at doing more and more types of faces for my characters. I mean, I have drawn Denki Kaminari quite a few times, and he's a character that I feel pretty good about drawing. I haven't done him in a while, so maybe I'll draw him. I do like him quite a lot, and I would like to do more guys. Out of my cast of characters, I have 2 guys, which isn't a lot, but I say let's do Denki Kaminari. I'm gonna have to make sure I don't let the My Hero aesthetic slip into my thoughts too much while making this. So this is just gonna be a complete blank slate just based off of how I think I'd draw him now. I don't even remember when the last time was that I drew him. No, I painted him last year. I painted him for Inktober last year. And I know I have that, so I'm gonna have to pull it up and look at it just so I can see the difference. You know what, maybe I'll give him a little smirk as well. I feel like most of the time he's either confused or overconfident. But just because I really like those expressions, let's go with the overconfident. I don't remember how I draw him. Definitely no more. Definitely not as thin of a face as Kai. He has a little bit of a rounder face. I guess Deku would be a good one to draw just because I know he has a lot rounder of a face. So he's a very different character for me to draw. I don't usually draw guys with super round faces, so he may be a good one to do. I feel like anime characters are some of the best ones for me to choose from in terms of drawing character. I don't remember how long I usually draw it. Dang, definitely not that long. Don't remember how I draw it. No. See, that is just peak Edward Elric right there. I have drawn Edward Elric before, but I'm not trying to do that right now. It's a larger piece here. I literally have an action figure. What am I even doing? I literally have an action figure I can look at right now. I am an idiot. I mean, do I have pictures up of him right now? Yes, I do. But action figure. It doesn't really matter just how sketchy they look and how messy they look. I'm just gonna clean them up in the future. I'm just gonna keep you over there. Now, I want to pull up the drawing just to see the comparison. Oh, there's a Kaji. See, this is what I mean by he used to be a pretty boy. He used to be a pretty boy. Kaji was most certainly a pretty boy. Definitely no Soma Yukihira or Tamaki Suo at all. Definitely none of that. Anyway, I found the Denki painting from over a year ago, and honestly, it doesn't look all that different. Really the only difference is just that I made his hair really long for some unknown reason. But overall, it really looks mostly the same. Let's do Deku, the boy with the very fluffy hair, the fluffiest of them all. Round-faced boy with very, very big eyes. Man, I don't know what kind of nose I want to make Deku have. It doesn't help that in My Hero Academia, they're literally just 2 lines. He sure do look innocent. Man, why does My Hero Academia make everybody have such tiny eyebrows? I hate it. The thing about Deku is that he just looks so young. He looks like such a child. I mean, granted he is, but maybe I'll play into like the tiny point style that they have. Don't want to make his face too round just because, again, I don't want him to look too childish. I'll give him a little bit of edge. Just a little bit. There we go. Adding some eye bags helped. I know that's not part of his actual character design, but I think it helps give a little bit more maturity to his design. I like to make my hair work according to the laws of physics, which his hair does not. Why does your hair do this? Please just give me a consistent image for your hair, dude. Just very, very fluffy, which means that needs to be higher. Okay, he's starting to look better now. Well, now you can't see the rest of his hair, but we did it, yay! That's Deku. Why did I decide to draw him? All right, there we go. That's Deku. I'm just gonna write here, Deku, for my own reference. Done Denki Kaminari, I've done Deku. Now who do I draw? Okay, I stepped aside for a minute just to generate some more ideas, and I've decided I'm going to do Snufkin somewhere in this space. I'm going to do Vash the Stampede, and I'm going to do Shinso. So there's going to be 3 spaces here taken up with character designs, so we'll see how many more I can add in after this. I'm going to start with just doing Snufkin right here. I've drawn him very differently every single time I do something with him, but generally I've tried to do a bit more of a rounded face, except with Snufkin, I give him a far more distinguishable nose, because Snufkin has a very iconic nose. It's not Snufkin if he doesn't have a large nose. He typically has larger eyes, but I don't know, I'm not, me and my personal style, I'm just not a fan of the super big eyes. I tend to lean a little bit more into that mysterious vibe that Snufkin has. Large furry ears, which is not a canonical thing at all, it's just something that a lot of the fan art people do that I really like. That is floofier at the top. At least in the older versions, not so much in the 2019 one. Overall, I feel pretty confident in how I draw my version of Snufkin. It's another one where it's like, yeah, I feel pretty solid with this guy. Though I've definitely painted him with more hair than this. And I usually draw him with flowers and leaves and stuff in his hair as a reference to the 70s show where he had a little flower crown in his hair. Man, I just drew him so fast. I just whipped that out of nowhere. Now it's time to do Vash the Stampede. For the record, I'm doing the 90s one, not that intolerable excuse for the 2023 version. I'm not sorry. I hate Trigun Stampede. It's a terrible show. I don't care how good the animation looks. The story sucks. So I will only acknowledge the 1990s one, the original, the good one. Have I ever drawn him? I don't know. I feel like I've attempted to draw him once. Let's draw him down here just to be safe, just because I know he has really spiky hair. I found a good picture. He is also a very sharp-faced guy. And Vash has a bit of a pointier nose, so we're gonna go with a pointier nose. And long face, so his eyes are gonna be up pretty high. And his eyes are pretty thin. His eyebrows work in the reverse, in that they start really narrow and they get bigger. He has these funky-looking triangle eyebrows. I just don't want him to end up looking like the 2023 one. Well, if I keep his face really, really sharp, and I don't let it be smooth at all, hopefully, it'll actually look like him. You know who would have been good for this? Leorio. Ah, there we go. Now he's looking like Vash. I just had to get that very, very narrow face. Wait a minute, since when did he have earrings? I never realized in the 1991 that he had earrings. Now it's time to draw his really weird hair. Standing up, but they're also like a little flumpy. He looks a lot like Senku now that I think about it. Actually, it was probably the other way around. There's a lot of Vash the Stampede in Senku. Coat coming up around his face. Well, hey, he doesn't look like the 2023 one, so I'm satisfied. So we'll see how drawing Shinso goes. Shinso screen cap. I like his hair. This one's gonna be fun. I really like Shinso's design, so I think this one's gonna be very, very fun. Shinso has a very deadpan expression, much like Snufkin right there. So we're gonna have 2 characters with a very similar type of expression going on at the same time. Snufkin looks tired. Shinso is just gonna look unimpressed. Again, I'm going against the My Hero style, and I do not want to use those large eyes. I love drawing eye bags on my characters. It's so much fun. His face looks a little bit sharper, so I think I'm gonna go with a slightly sharper look. Just make him look as unimpressed as he possibly can look. See, this is the kind of gravity-defying hair that I like. Not like Deku's hair. I have nothing against Deku as a character. I just don't enjoy drawing him. And I'm gonna get cut off a little bit, but I'm gonna do the best I can. Filling this whole page with My Hero Academia. Really ironic that I'm not putting any of my personal, like, favorite animes into this. Then again, I've tried to draw L from Death Note before, and he is a hard guy to draw. Luckily, I think Shinso just came to me really naturally. I think he looks good. Just shade in his hair a little bit. Darken those eye bags a little bit. Okay, there we go. There's Shinso. He looks really good. I am actually so proud of him. What a slay. What a slay. That was a win. Oh, hello. I forgot to shade Vash. I love Shinso so much. He looks so good. Oh my god. All right. Here's my last character for this spread. I had to cut out that section. There was a lot of swearing. There's a lot of stuff that would better go unheard. But an attempt was made to draw Sonic the Hedgehog in my art style. Never drawn Sonic before, ever in my life. I have never tried drawing Sonic, but I kind of like the way he looks a little bit. This would take like a full sketchbook spread worth of study to figure out how to draw him in my style. Like, actually, I think this is like an okay start for Sonic. I think it's okay. So now, because I've used up basically all the space and I want to have a little bit of breathing room for colors, I think I'm just going to work on decorating the spread now, just to make them stand out a bit. It's kind of funny how these guys are all connected. I am seriously gonna have to hope that I don't smudge any of this. And here's Mira's outline. And then we'll get Denki. I'm just doing this to give a little bit of extra interest to the sketches before I go in with the color. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do blocks of color. I like to keep my sketches as just that, just sketches. So I'm going to go around them with a bit of color with my Posca pens, most likely. Okay, now to choose a color, I think I'm gonna play with pinks and purples. So I'm gonna go in and just add little blobs of color. Oh no, my Posca's leaking. Let's go with the darker one now up here. This just adds a little bit of extra pop to my stuff. And then another one right here. Box for Snufkin. Add some more purple here. And then let's do some purple between Sonic and Vash. And then we'll do a final bit of pink up here between these guys. And now I just need to sit and wait for them to be dry. The sketchbook spread is all finished and done. We have the Wandering Trader, Kai, Kaji, Mira, Spica, Nami, Denki Kaminari, Deku, Snufkin, Vash the Stampede, Shinso, and my attempt at Sonic the Hedgehog. We're gonna work a little more on that. I think this is a really cool sketchbook spread, but in any sense, I can't wait to make the digital version of these, and I'll probably put them up in this video. They're probably on the screen right now. If I've done them by the time I've edited this video, I don't know how long it's gonna take me to do these guys. That is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this little sketch with me video. Would love to know if you were just listening, if you were watching, if you were drawing along, let me know. As always, you can like, comment, and subscribe if you feel so inclined. And I'm gonna go start working on making the digital versions of these, so I will see you all in my next video. Bye everybody!
I wanna be timeless, so no